Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. For today's video, we are doing a Boxycharm try-on, jumping into the products from the box that I already have. We're doing a full demo of everything, and it took us a little while to get here, but I'm happy with where we ended up in the long run, so not mad at it though. As always, if that's something you're into, make sure to keep on watching, and don't forget to subscribe because I upload every other day. That'll be the best way to stay up to date on all the fun stuff I'm posting. So if you want to jump into a full Boxycharm try-on and tutorial on everything here, stay tuned. All right, so my base is already done, and I really wanted to just play with makeup today, and my Boxycharm and my Ipsys are delayed, so I'm going to be doing the try-on with my premium box, which is currently the only box I have. So I did already do my base, and we're going to jump right in. Now, the first product we're going to play with is going to be the Ofra On The Glow palette. I love this palette for bronzer, blush, highlight, and we're going to use it for all three today. Just to wrap up the complexion, I am going to start with, I'm going to use this Rare Beauty bronzer brush and the Americano bronzer up here. And this is super pigmented. I'm going to try not to go in too heavy with this, but we really want to start with just the tip of the brush to softly diffuse this on. It's one of those products where you see how it just like instantly starts to add pigment. Now, I don't love when a bronzer is so pigmented that the second you touch it to your face, it looks muddy, and then you blend it because you have to make it, like, not look crazy. I like when it's something I can take a little bit of and slowly build up. But you can also go overboard with this, so you do want to go on with it nice and slow. This is not one of those bronzers where you, like, need a secret to make it work. This is one of those just, like, it is a beautiful formula. It goes on really nicely. Now, we're just going to make sure. I'm going a little heavy with this because of the blush we're going to use. The blush is a little bit sheerer and a little bit more of like this rosy tone. So having a little extra bronzer is going to be almost like a pre-blush. And that's the thing. When you apply things like this, you are layering product. So you're not just putting bronzer on. Your bronzer is going to become, your blush and your highlight. Just to add a little bit of glow, we're going to go into the pyramid right here. That's the Egyptian Glow bronzer. And I'm going to take just a little bit of this, and we're going to sweep that over the cheeks. Now, this is very glowy. It does have a really beautiful tone to it. So this is going to be like a glowy bronzer, pre-highlight, pre-blush. It just adds a little bit of that extra dimension and glow to the face. We're going to use the blush out of this pan right here. This is the Dream Triangle. And we're really going to concentrate on just taking that blush. And like I said, it's like a soft sheer pink. So it's not going to be crazy pigmented. It's really going to be a nice soft flush of color. But we do want to make sure, that's why I went in heavier with the bronzer, so that the combination of those couple colors together still gives us a nice blushing cheek. But, a lot of that is actually coming out of the bronzer. Now, Ofra has some of the best highlighters. We're going to go into Blissful up here because it is this really beautiful champagne-y color. And I'm just going to apply that to the cheekbone. And this is pretty intense, so a little goes a very long way. And then because we want to tone it down a little, I'm going to take a tiny bit of that blush on a smaller brush. And we're going to just use that to blend into and over that highlight, just because we don't want it to look like a stripe of highlight on our face. This is what's going to help to blend it out in a way that makes it look and feel like our skin is just glowing. And see how this isn't looking like we've got a stripe of highlight? It's really just looking like we are glowing through the makeup. That is the entire function. And once that's on, just grab your sponge from earlier and press that over everything. That's going to kind of melt the highlight into the blush, into the bronzer, giving you this glowy, dewy cheek. I said this in my unboxing, I'll say it again. This is one of my favorite products I think I've ever received in a Boxycharm. It is just so versatile, so beautiful. I love the way it kind of brought the skin together. Let's move on. For eyes, we're going to use the Dominique Cosmetics Unconditional palette. I am not going to be using the glitter today, but we are going to be going into like a sort of burgundy, very neutral look. I'm gonna grab a Delium 776. I'm grabbing it because this brush is already stained with like a pinky burgundy, and that's gonna make sure I don't feel bad for staining another brush. And I'm gonna start with Warm Hearted up here. This is a beautiful peachy transition shade. I love the Dominique Cosmetics formula because it blends so beautifully and there's clear thought into the color selection. Like you'll notice in the pan it looks very peachy. I went in a little heavier on the brush than I planned to, so it looked very like red on the eyes. But the second I started blending, it softened into the most beautiful peachy tone. So you can really build up any of these colors to make them more intense, or you can shear them out and blend them to give yourself like a soft wash of color. On that same brush, we're gonna jump into Corazon, the real like bone toned shade, and I'm going to blend that over everything we just did and up. That's gonna just soften that blend. So often I feel like everybody goes into like the lightest transition color first, and that's not a bad idea as far as making things blend. But for me, I like to go in with like the second lightest shade first, because then when you take the lighter shade and just blend over it, it just makes everything else look so much more airbrushed. Then we're gonna go into Jaden, the darkest of those cranberry shades, and I'm going to take that really down low, close to the lower lash line like this, and then I'm going to gently pat it up towards the crease. But I really don't want to take this over the crease. I want to keep this on the lid. On a flat packer brush, we're going to take Soul, which is a very beautiful champagne shimmer. Give it a quick mist, and we're going to press that over the lid. This is one of those colors that's going to bring everything back to life. We're going to take that up to where that berry tone got a little crazy and just blend it over the whole lid. Anytime you work with one of these super metallic, vibrant shimmers and one of these like, I don't want to call it difficult, but one of these more temperamental eyeshadow like the cranberry color, mixing those and layering them is what's going to bring everything back to life. Like now that that color's on place, we're going to go in with the first brush with no additional color and just gently blend back and forth on the crease. We're not adding any more color here, but we are just softening the edges so that everything feels more put together. And then with a tiny bit more of that red shade, we're just gonna pat the edges just to bring that dimension back to the eye. Going into, also out of the Boxycharm, the Item Beauty Lucky Line Brown Eyeliner. I'm gonna pop this in the waterline. On a pencil brush with that medium color, we're going to go in with the, so I'm going to use the larger pencil brush. I am just going to buff that out. On the smaller side of the pencil brush, we're going to go into that cranberry color, and we're just going to go much closer to the eye and connect that to the outer piece of the upper lid. And then back to that first brush, we're just going to blend all of that together. And as you know, favorite tip to bring things back to life after they've gone a little off the rails. Fluffy brush with the lightest shade one more time. And we're just going to blend around everything. And that's just going to soften all of those edges. All right, my lashes are curled. We're moving on to the next item. It is the Uma Beauty Salute to the Sun Mascara. I said in my unboxing video that the wand felt pretty big, but I'm hoping that that's not the case and that it goes on nice. So it's not the type of wand I typically go for, but it is really coating the lashes nicely. I think it's pretty. I don't know if it's coming off on camera, but it's definitely giving me volume, which I like. So far, it is holding the curl nicely. I don't want to say that too soon because, you know, the second I turn off the camera and like walk into the kitchen to get a drink or something, the lashes just fall. But we will definitely have to, you know, do a full wear test and see how we like it. I definitely think it went on better on this eye. I didn't redunk, so I think this might be one of those where you need to really make sure you wipe off some of that mascara before you use it because it went on so much nicer on the second eye. Like you could just see the lashes are so much better over here. All right, the last item is going to be a lip, so I'm just going to quickly line my lips. This is the neutral liner from Beauty for Real. I love this because this is like my perfect lip color. And next we're going to go into the Rinna Beauty lip gloss in the shade Guilty Pleasure. When I tried this on, it felt a little peachy, so I went with something a little bit more of a mauve on the lip liner. So the lip gloss is not going on super smooth. Like I keep checking it in the monitor. Like it's a little on the patchy side, but the more you like work it into the lip, the better it looks. Feel like it also bled, which is weird. Lip glosses that bleed, they do exist, but it's so infrequent. All right, with the edges cleaned up, I think I like the way it looks. This weird glare on my face I'm not really feeling though, so all right, I'm gonna go and add a little more blush and I'll be right back. A little blush really does just bring everything together. All right, so I'm really liking the way everything has turned out. The longer I have the lip gloss on, the more the pigment seems to melt together, but that inside of the lip is still having that weird thing where the pigment, not the best gloss I've ever used. The liner, I think, went on really nice, really strong, really deep brown, so I love the pigment there. Not Kristen Dominique's best palette. I think the color worked out really well, but I did need a lot more like finesse. And then when I was, getting ready to turn the camera back on, I ended up going back in and blending for like a fifth time because that color, despite me trying to build it up slowly, really got very overpowering very quickly. Now, I like the way it kind of all came together in the end, but it just took us a little longer than I would have liked to get there. Bronzer palette, I'm obsessed with, you know that. The mascara, the longer I have it on, this eye looks much better. But again, a lot of that has to do with the fact that there was less product on the brush. So with this, I would definitely recommend like wipe some product off before it goes right onto the eye. Other than that, I think everything looked really good. As always, sound off in the comments. Let me know what you think. Really excited to get my other boxes so we can play with more makeup. And honestly, I think everything looks really good. Like, I need to go do my hair and get dressed, but like, I'm definitely a big fan of how everything looks today. Probably going to change the lip though. Anyway, sound off. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.